I grew up a member of the church. This is my faith journey, I guess. I grew up a member of the church, participated in all the programs, graduated from seminary, went to college, served a mission, came back, got married. Maybe not as soon as they would have hoped, but in the temple, and started off on what was described to all of us as Plan A, the road to success, the way to get to the celestial kingdom. And then I got divorced. And there's a lot of things I could say about that, and some of them I'll say elsewhere. There's two things I want to talk about. Number one, it didn't drive me away. I knew that this was something that was the right thing to do. I had prayed about marrying her. We had gone on dates to the temple. We got married in the temple. And I just wasn't one of those people who thought that it would ever happen to me, and that it did. It didn't affect my beliefs. It affected some of my behavior, but I still went. I was meeting with my bishop, trying to save my marriage. And eventually, after meeting with him every week for a year, almost every week, he told me that he had discussed it with the stake president, and I still remember him saying, "We feel that if we continue to force you to stay married to Kim, we are essentially condemning you to hell on earth. So if you want to get divorced, we will not oppose it." And so the next time we had a fight, and she ended the fight with, "I think we should get a divorce," to try and manipulate me into doing what she wanted, I said, "Fine, bring me the papers and I'll sign them." And that's how it began. I kept going to church, but I became sort of a pariah in many circles. It didn't affect my testimony, but it affected, to a large extent, the way other people regarded me and thought about me. When I moved to Vegas, I would meet young women who would tell me, "Oh, you're the divorced guy," as if it was some sort of scarlet letter emblazoned on my chest, scratched in my face, as if it was a millstone hung about my neck that would drag me down for eternity. It has marginalized me in other ways. When I moved into my house in 2010 and started attending church, they were very disappointed that I wasn't a real family and it was just me that I was bringing. I'm not really sure why they were upset that an active elder was coming, but for some reason they weren't interested in me being there, and they marginalized me, and I eventually moved and attended another ward, where a kindly bishop did some work trying to find something that he could have me do that they were okay with, and they felt like utilize my talents, because only like 1% of divorced men over the age of 31 even attend church, let alone are active and participate. And so Randy tried to find something for me to do. And ever since then, I've been teaching the 16 and 17-year-olds because, well, that's where you put your corrupt members, right? It affected a lot of people. It continues to affect the way I am perceived, the way I'm treated, the way people act toward me. And for a long time, it was hard for me to accept that it had happened, and to embrace that no matter how much you may try, you cannot keep a marriage together on your own, that it takes two. Just like it takes two to fight, it takes two to make things work. And so if she didn't want it to work, and that's what I really think, then it didn't really matter what I wanted. It was going to fall apart anyway, and it was only a matter of time, and only a matter of how it actually fell apart, how, when, and why. But it was going to die. And I could tell you the day I know that it died, but that's another story for another time. It didn't destroy my testimony. I have never left the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints because I know it's true. I had friends who told me, "Well, maybe it's time to start your own church, the Church of Tom and Doug. We'll have our own church with beer and hookers," except for I knew that wasn't right. God had not appeared to me and commanded me to start a church, nor did I believe that I had any kind of authority to do so. Her malversation did not give me permission to take honor unto myself. Not that I believed that I deserved any honor anyway. It's been more than a decade since I got divorced. I have dated unsuccessfully. I have attended church, and I have held to hope. Nothing has changed in any way that I can report that my life has gotten better, but I can tell you this, I am still here. I get knocked down, but I get up again, and you're never going to keep me down. And I think that makes Satan scared every morning when I get up knowing that he hasn't beaten me yet, even though he's beaten me up. Marriage is a difficult thing. I don't know how to make one work. I don't know how the ones I know that are working. So if your parents are getting divorced, or if you're getting divorced, I want you to understand that it may not actually be anything, there may be nothing you can do about it. And that somewhere, someone will see you as you are. I have an elders quorum president now who has a partner in his firm who has been divorced twice. He said, I know that a man is more than the sum of his marriages. And he's trying to find something for me to do to contribute. Somewhere, someone will find something worthy in you. Because somewhere, someone will be able to see you the way Jesus sees you, as you are, and not as a consequence of the decisions of other people around you. My best friend at the time wisely gave me this counsel. Do not refer to yourself as divorced. Refer to it as something that happened to you, because it is not something that you are. It is something you experienced. It's not an experience I relish. It's not what I recommend. It has not directly been a blessing in my life, aside from getting out of what I know now is a toxic and abusive relationship. So I know that my freedom is a blessing. And every October, when the anniversary of the divorce decree comes down, I go out to eat for Emancipation Day and thank God for another year of freedom. If nothing else, the gospel of Jesus Christ is about rescuing people and setting captives free. And so as unhappy and unsettling as it may be to many that I was married, and I was married in the temple, and I am now not, I have seen his hand in setting me free, in setting at liberty those that are captive, and giving me purpose. My life is not as fulfilling as I would like. It's not as happy, and it certainly didn't turn out the way I'd hoped. But I'm still here. I still believe. I still live. I still teach. I still pray. I still sing. I still worship. I still know. I still serve. I just have to be a little bit more creative about how, when, and where. And what I choose to do is really up to me. Like I told my Sunday school class years ago, Plan A is not grow up, get married, have kids, and live happily ever after. Plan A is, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart. And the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. You do not have to be married to do either one of those two things. For most people in the church, that's how it looks. But the plan is to love God and love your neighbor. And you can do that no matter where you are, no matter who you're with, no matter what happens to you. And that's plan A. It's just dressed up in a certain way for many of the people that you know. And semblance is different from substance. I'm still on my faith journey, but I didn't fall off the straight and narrow path. I didn't let go of the rod, and I'm grateful for that. I didn't go start my own church, or join with friends, or use it as an excuse to engage in the behaviors she accused me of doing as justification for treating me like crap. Do not commit the crimes for which you now serve the sentence. And when God sends his Son to rescue you, let him. I'm grateful that I did. Celebrating 10 years of no contact this summer from my wife. I'm celebrating freedom and happiness. Being left to go my own way without having to deal with that anymore. And if you view that as something to be looked down on, well then, I guess you just value different things than I do. And I let her go her own way. I don't care what she's doing. I don't know. I haven't heard from her for years. I hope she's happy. I also hope she leaves me alone. She is her own person and has the privilege of choosing to do with her life what she wants to do with her life. And coming to Christ if and only if that's actually what she desires. And if she does, then that will be good. And if not, it doesn't have anything to do with me. We are all saved individually by a Savior who knows us individually. And he will decide whether or not what I do with the opportunity given to me is acceptable to him. And he will decide if he wants to rescue me from not only the decisions made by others, but the bad decisions I make myself. So if you're struggling with parents who are divorced or divorce yourself, know there is hope. Know that you can toe the line. And if you want to talk to somebody, let me know. I don't have necessarily the answers because everyone's circumstance is different, but I know how to listen. And I know the pain. And I know the Master can take it away. There is hope, there is life, there is love. It may not be in a person, it may not be in a marriage. It may not come in this world, and it may not come in the form you want, but it will come. I've seen his hand in my life. I know it, and I know that God knows it, and I cannot deny it. And if you need to lean on me, together, where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, there he will be in the midst of them, and he will strengthen them. So maybe we can endure it together. Godspeed. God bless. Good night.